Okay, we're working on 7.2. 7.1 was adding and subtracting polynomials. Now we're going to be multiplying. We're going to multiply now monomial by a polynomial. So remember, monomial is one term, and then a polynomial could be 4 or greater. Okay, now they just also say polynomial because it might be a binomial, it might be a trinomial, but this is the overall. So that could be 4 or more, but looking at them, they're not. But they're also monomial or binomials. Some are trinomials, so we won't worry about that. Okay, now here's what you have to remember. Remember when we did last unit, unit 6, when we worked with exponents and we're multiplying. So remember when you multiply monomial by a polynomial, so distribute the monomial to the polynomial. For exponents, recall the product rule. So all of this was like, what? But again, that's why we needed to learn the terminology. But we're going to work on it. Now, remember the product rule in our unit 6, which said when you're multiplying by the same base, what do you do with the exponents? Add them. Okay, so that's going to be important when we look at this. So there's 2 ways you can solve these. You can do a distributive method, or you can do a box method. So I'm going to show you both, and whichever one you want to do is totally up to you. Sometimes I go back and forth depending on what I have to think about. So distribute method means I'm going to distribute this 2x squared or cubed times 3x. Then I'm going to distribute, this is a plus, so then I'm going to distribute 2x cubed to the 2y. Now, not that you have to write out that line every time. A lot of times I don't, but I'm showing you again to distribute like we did when we're solving equations. You're multiplying that outside term to both of them. So what you're doing is 2 times 3, that's going to be 6, but then watch this, x cubed times x. Well, you're multiplying by the same base, you add the exponents. So it's going to be 6x to the 4th. Again here, 2 times 2, that's 4. That's positive, so plus 4. Now, you cannot say xy to the 4th. These aren't the same base. So you're just going to have x cubed y. Done. Okay, so you can distribute that. Now, the box method. We have a monomial and a binomial. So we can take 3x, so you have one term. And then you're going to have 2 terms here. You're going to have x squared minus x. So you have a 1 by 2 box. Okay, then you 3x times x squared. Well, that is going to be a 3x cubed. So what we're doing is, if you've worked in science yet for Punnett squares, that's kind of what this is. Actually, this is exactly what it is. Negative x, 3x. If you've worked with any type of multiplication chart, any sheet like that, you have columns and rows and you bring them together, that's what's happening. So now you have a negative x times 3x. So that's a negative 1. Okay, so you have a negative 3x squared. You're multiplying. So you're doing x times x. That's going to make it x squared. When you do this, write your final answer, though, in standard form. So you have 3x cubed minus 3x squared. So that will be your final answer. Okay, so you can do a box method if that helps, or just distribute. I typically like to distribute because it's faster. But k times k, that's k squared. Now k times a negative 9, don't forget that sign in front of it goes with it. So that's a negative 9k. That's it. That's all you can do. All we're doing is saying find each product. You can't do anything else with it. We don't know what k equals. We don't have an equal sign here. We can't solve for k. That's all you can do. Okay? All right. Now 3c to the 5th minus 2c. If you want to make a box, you can make a box. You're going to have a 1 by 2 like this. Or you can just distribute. So that's a negative 6c to the 6th minus 15c to the 5th. Okay, now if you want to make a box, I'll make a box for you. So you can have a 1 by 2. I'm going to do it this way just because I don't have much room. You could do a 2 by 1, like going this way if you want. 3c to the 5th, negative 2c, negative 5. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. C to the 5th times c is c 6th. Negative 5 times, so this is a negative 15, c to the 5th. Now, a numerical order, 6 and 5. So you're going to rewrite it to your final answer here. I just find distributive. If you want to use the box, do it. But don't forget to write your final answer out again, though. Okay, so x to each of these. Now, x squared, that's going to be x cubed, minus x squared plus 3x. Numerical order, the descending order of the exponents. Good. Okay, so negative 2x to the fourth. So we negative 12, x to the, now add these. 6, remember, multiplying by the same base, add the exponents. Negative 2 times a negative 12, positive 24, x to the fifth. And then a negative 36, x to the fourth. Okay. All right, now, watch this. 3xy times x squared. Now, this is saying 3xy times x squared. So this is going to be 3x cubed y. X squared and x. So it's saying 3 times x times y times x squared. That's, you can only combine the x squared and the x. Okay. Then 3xy to xy. 3x squared y squared. Okay. Then 3, because all these have a coefficient of 1, 3xy cubed. Okay. So what you're doing is just adding the exponents of the same base, because we're doing multiplication. Okay, last one. So 10 to the negative 20 m to the fifth n to the fourth plus 30 m to the fourth, because there's no m here, n to the second power. Is that right? I always have to go back. Always go back and check yourself too, because you can make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. Negative 20m to the fifth n to the fourth plus 30. I always watch my signs. Watch your signs. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that is multiplying by multiplying with polynomials and monomials. Okay. So let's look at example 2. Let's look at example 2. So again, you're just pulling knowledge from your last unit. And it says distribute, then simplify remaining expression. Final answer must be in standard form. Notice we're distributing, and then you have another term out here. Same thing. Now this one, you're going to double distribute, and then you're going to combine. So it's like distributing and combining like terms when we're solving equations. But now we're multiplying x. Oh, I don't know why I did that. Negative 2 times 3 is a negative 6, x squared. Negative 2x minus 4 plus 8x, then plus 7x. You need to combine like terms. Okay, so you have a negative 6x squared plus 15x. And that's all you can do. This one you're going to distribute twice, then combine like terms, if there are any like terms. So this is going to be a negative 35 w squared plus 15 minus 2w times 13. So that's a negative 26w. Negative 2w times a negative 9w, positive 18w cubed. Okay, so this is just like distributing your signs. Be careful of your signs. And then your exponents. You need to add your exponents. Okay, now combine like terms. Okay, we have a square, but we have a cube here. So that's going to be our leading one. 18w cubed minus 35w squared. Oh, we're not combining anything here. We're just rewriting. There's nothing to combine. There's nothing that had the same exponents. Wait a minute. Oh, I looked back at the answer key. I messed up right here, you guys. 5w times 3 needs to be 15w. So that is going to throw that off. Ooh, see? 15w. 15w minus 26. Oh, gosh, that's wrong. Okay. So sorry. I wish I could rewind this. I don't know how to do that. Okay, so final answer. 18w cubed minus 35w squared minus 11w. Thank you for the ones who are screaming at the computer and saying, no, that's not right. Okay, you caught me. Good job. So 15w. See? It's very simple to make a mistake. It's a simple concept, but it's very easy to make mistakes. All right, now we're going to combine this with some geometry. This looks really scary at first, but I love it because you can break down and we can do it. That's the thing that you have to know. Now, a couple things you need to know here. Find the area of a trapezoid. Well, you're like, okay, how do I find the area of a trapezoid? I'm going to go ahead and give you this formula. So the area of a trapezoid is 1/2 the height times the base sub 1 plus the base sub 2. What that means is, so here's our height, here's our base 1, here's our base 2. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to add them together. We're going to just plug in the formula, and then we're going to take the height, or we can multiply it by the height and then divide by 2. So there's a lot of things you can do here. So plug in this information. Before doing any computation, I like to plug in what I have. Height is 4x squared. And then the bases. Now base 1, base 2, it doesn't matter which one's which. 8x squared plus 3x plus 2x cubed minus x. Okay, so what I would do first is I would combine these if possible. So, and you could, that's right, I'm going to do this just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to combine this first. I'm going to make this shorter. So this is going to be 2x cubed. I'm going to put them in numerical order, least or greatest to least. And then plus 8x squared plus 2x. Now, I could go ahead and do half of 4x squared, because half of 4x squared is 2x. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do half. That's nice. That's half of 4. So it's going to be 2x squared. Now you're just going to distribute this. So 2x squared times 2x to the 5th is 4x to the, x cubed, x to the 5th. That's x cubed. I was going too fast. Then 2x squared times 8x squared, that's going to be 16x to the 4th. 2x squared times 2x would be 4x cubed. And that is as far as you can go. Okay? That's as far. You can't do anything else. It says find the area. You can't find numbers. You don't know what anything equals. You don't know what x equals. If you knew the total and you can find x, but that's what you would write, that you would write an expression to represent that area. Okay. All right, let's find this one. Now, find the area of the shaded region as a simplified expression. So that's what they're talking about here, is a simplified expression. All right, the area of the shaded region. So when you look at this, we have a large triangle and we have a small triangle. You can look at it as a triangle, rectangle. What the heck am I talking about? A rectangle. So look at it as like a door. If this is a door and that's the window, or this is something and it's punched out. So think about this. If we knew this total area here, this looks like we're just cutting it out and getting rid of it. So we're really subtracting. So this is really going to be a subtraction. So I would do this larger one. So you're going to have, now remember, area is your length times your width for a rectangle. So you're going to do 6x times 8x minus 1 minus 2x times 5x plus 3. You're subtracting this whole thing. So really, we could have brackets here. Okay? So what I would do is go ahead and simplify each of these, then subtract them. So it's going to be 48x squared minus 6x minus, don't do anything yet though. Don't distribute or anything yet. 2x times 5x is 10x squared plus 6x. Now you need your parentheses here. You need your parentheses because now you're going to distribute that negative. Don't drop your parentheses on the last one because it just looks like minus 10x squared. So you really have 48x squared minus 6x minus 10x squared minus 6x. Now we can combine like terms. 48x squared minus 10x squared is 38x squared. Now, careful, don't make this 0. In my head, I thought it's 0 first, but it's a negative 6x and a negative 6x. You're going further negative, okay? So that area is going to be represented as 38x squared minus 12x, okay? You can do it.